everybody, and welcome back to the Deck and Walk videos. I am filming this really late at night. It's been a week, let me tell you. It's been so busy, and not just like business-wise busy, but like family stuff happening. Just like, I don't know, it's been a crazy week. I put a whole bunch of my decks on sale because I started thinning out like some of my collection, and I've had people texting me at like 4 o'clock in the morning because they're from like different areas of the world, and to them that's like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I've been going every single day to the post office to ship a bunch of decks out. Like, it's just been insane. It's been such a busy week. I don't even know if I'm coming or going. So sorry about that. Like, I'm gonna have to try to find ways to edit this, and hopefully I'll be able to, but it might end up being late if I can't find time to sit down and edit this. So my apologies once again. But it'll get it posted eventually, right? I'm here to do it. So this is Decan. I think we're in Aquarius 2. And this chapter she calls Celestial Navigation. So like always, I like to recap a little bit. What's interesting about these cards is this didn't happen to me. The Five of Swords didn't happen to me, but I had to sit back and watch it happen to somebody. And that's what like has been going on this week, and why this week has been so chaotic on top of all of the other stuff that was happening. Was because I had to sit back and watch a loved one just have a horrible situation happen, and they had a lot of hard time dealing with the situation. And it wasn't just one person, it was like three people, and it was loved ones, and it was close to people that I love and I'm close to. And it was really hard to sit and watch them go through this situation that this person put them through. It was a surprise, but at the same time it really wasn't. This person has a history of being a messed up individual. So, like, it kind of didn't surprise us, but at the same time, at the level that this person went at, kind of did surprise me. So, it was just a really messy situation, and it was really hard to watch my loved ones go through it. And it's still continuing, right? But so it was interesting that this card didn't happen to me. I had to watch this whole situation happened to a loved one. And I believe I'll have to go back and watch, but I believe when I did the video of this card, it said right in Susan's book that it might not be done to you. You might have to sit back and watch it being done to somebody. And that's exactly what happened. Was it didn't happen to me. I had to watch it happen to someone else. So a couple people. So it was it's been a week. That's all I can say is it's been a week. But anyways, let's change these cards out. Let's change up this energy because I am ready for new energy. So we are saying goodbye to the Five of Swords and the Empress. Thank God. See you later. And we are obviously moving on to the Six of Swords. Yay. And the Magician. I like the Six of Swords. I'm a fan when I see the Six of Swords. I know the worst is behind us and we are starting to move into calmer waters, which is, I am down for that 100%, right? So, and I feel like, to go back to the Five of Swords energy, I feel like that was like the entire, like, it was happening on like global scales. It was happening in personal lives. Like, it just seemed to be the energy of like that time frame. It was 12 days, whatever it was. It was just, it was chaos. But now we're moving on to this, which I like, and I like to see that. So this will be the last decan with the Knight of Swords. The next video will be changing this character out, but other than that, everything else remains the same, right? So obviously we are in Aquarius. It is a fixed sign. It is an air element. None of those change. and the star is staying with us for the entire time. And like I said, other than just these cards change. The Knight, we say goodbye to the Knight of Swords. Thanks God, like I'm good with that, like saying goodbye to that impulsive energy and fast to react and quick temper. So we're going to be saying goodbye to that, and we'll be bringing in a new card next Decan, which is awesome. So let's, as usual, let's get into what Susan is saying. It's very shadowy in here. I'm sorry. I'm going to try my best here. Oh, and see, look at how tired I am. I forgot our planetary influence. So let me grab that really fast. Okay, and our planetary influence is Mercury. Ugh. Sometimes I like Mercury, sometimes I don't. I guess it just depends. All right, back to what we were doing. So we have Mercury as our ruler, which we know is about communication, technology, all of that stuff. I will get into the book after, and we'll do a quick little recap on that. But for right now, I'm going to read what I want to read out of T. Susan Chang's book, The 36 Secrets. And she starts with the Six of Swords, an oasis in a suit commonly believed to be full of fear, grief, and conflict. Why do we think of the swords this way? Because the swords are the suit of the mind, and the mind creates suffering. Have you noticed that in the minor cards, no one's eyes are open? Ah, I've never noticed that. We're going to have to look at that. With the possible exception of the fives, they're blindfolded, shut, covered, or not visible. The mind misperceives things, but in the six, someone is seeing clearly enough to navigate right for the destination. He follows a guiding star, one apparent to his perception, if not to ours. In The Winner and Losers, Five of Swords, I talk about the risk that drives the Five of Swords. In this desperate game, winners take all and losers go home. Except now they have no home, because that's part of what got taken. There is no choice except to leave if you can, but at least you have the star to guide you. That desperate hope is in our last treasure, preserved in Pandora's box. More so than other sword cards, the 5 and 6 are relational, focusing on small groups rather than single factors. In the 5 of Swords, emphasized inhumanity suffered at the hands of others. Then maybe the 6 emphasizes the kindness of a stranger. If we're lucky, someone, a navigator, will help us amend our plight and make a new start with our children. The 6 shows our passage, accompanied by the hope of freedom. In the 7, we will see scrabble for a living any which way we can, finding within ourselves reserves and resources we never expected we had or would need in our previous comfortable lives. She then goes on to talk about the star card. In the distant background to the right on the star's image, there appears a shrub or a low tree. On its perch is a rough shape with just enough coherence for us to distinguish it as a bird. Though what kind is hard to say, the bird has been appearing on the star card since the 1700s or so. We'll probably never know why for sure, but there's a number of ways you can look at it that tie into the themes what we've already considered. Given the star's connection to the flood mythology, it could be the dove of Genesis. Given the star's connection to Venus archetypes, it could be the swallow of Venus. But I like to imagine it that is the bird of Thoth, and therefore a bird of Hermes or Mercury. With its longest beak and its proximity to a very attractive wading pool, we could, at a stretch, call it an ibis. This mercurial reading of the bird seems particularly apt in the Six of Swords content. It is only minor cards where the airy Mercury rules an airy Decan. When I think about what Mercury might be doing here in the breezy kingdom of Aquarius, I look at the star's creatures and I think of the language of the birds, otherwise known to alchemists as the green language or the living language. They believe that bird song expresses in its own tongue the secrets of creation. More generally, this Hermetic notion suggests to us that all words have life, power, and magical agency. Words are symbols, and we operate as magicians by manipulating symbols. By equating one thing with another, as above, so below, we leverage the power to affect reality. We manipulate the world in miniature or in metaphor, and the world we perceive changes, even if we cannot perceive the cause. In esoteric tarot, the ace sword is called invoked force, as opposed to the natural force of the ace of wands, the very life force within us. Invoked force is a concentrated will we apply to when we wish to change our fate. What happens when we add the five of swords and the one of swords? When we take defeat and add to it the will to change the fate, we arrive at the six, which is Lord of Science, which can solve the seemingly impossible through awesome feats of the mind. With celestial navigation, pre industrial cultures could sail vast oceans. With flight instruments today, airplane pilots can travel the night skies over invincible terrain. Furthermore, the Six of Swords is an excellent corrective for many sword related afflictions. You can use the Tree of Map, and then she goes on to talk about the Tree of Life map below, and she explains like how you can look at that card and get to it and the different paths that go to it, right? The everyday Six of Swords. This is the end of the chapter. While the Six of Swords has many mundane manifestations, for me, the majority of them seem to involve the manipulation of symbols. This includes words. It often turns up for me when I'm working with words, which granted I do most days, but it does seem to have a highlighted particular technical word intensive occasions. I've had it when teaching about metaphors, explaining sound editing, testing out new mantras, chatting about rituals, and talking about Hermeticism. I've had it represent the planning of a trip as opposed to taking the trip itself. This is particularly given the image on the card, but the Six of Swords can be very meta sometimes. The Six of Swords seems to have an affinity for representational journeys, ones I'm reading or watching or hearing. I've got the Six of Swords one evening upon watching the musical Into the Woods, which is an essential collection of individual journeys. I had it the day I heard a podcast on the Trail of Tears, and I got it the night I watched the season finale of the Netflix show Sense8, which involves the entire cast sailing off to some personal promised land on a boat. Finally, in a story I've retold many times and in many interviews, I got it one Wednesday when, at the hour of Mercury, I found myself in the library randomly troubleshooting an Excel spreadsheet for a stranger I just met. Sometimes you don't just encounter the planets in action, sometimes the planets are you. The Six of Swords is a friend without equal when it comes to problem solving. It is excellent for symbol manipulation and masterful at metaphor. It is good for writing your way out of a paper bag and thinking outside of the box because it never loses sight of its guiding star. It will help you to navigate smoothly from point A to point B. It excels in errands, priority settings, and if you are struggling in turbulent waters, take heart. The Six of Swords will help you find your way to calmer currents and peaceful resolution. And then she finishes off with the poem she typically does. So, on a good note, I'm hoping that the family member I had to watch, family members I had to watch go through it during the last Decan, hopefully this Decan, things become calmer and smoother for them, which it sounds like it's going to. So that's really wonderful and positive if that's the case. All right, we're going to read about Mercury, even though we've read about him before. Mercury, the messenger, is the planet of communication, thinking, and intelligence. Its primary focus are ideas, concepts, and the sharing of information. It is both teacher and student. Technology, wit, rationality, and logic are its allies. Yes, yes. Well, let's hope. That's kind of wonderful energies that would help the situation that, like I said, I had to watch unfold, right? Okay, let's read about. We've read about the magician in the past. Let's read about the Six of Swords because we have already read about the magician, but I might just touch on it again to I'm sorry, there's something on my card. Touch on it again to go over that. So, Six of Swords is Lord of Earned Success. Two hands each hold three crossed swords. The rose appears in the center, its 10 pointed rays, straight and strong. At the top of the cards are symbols for Mercury and Aquarius, supported by the points of the two shorter daggers. The same symbols and daggers appear at the bottom. All right, well, that's pretty straightforward. And here we go. Let's see if I can get my card, the camera. Go. So that's what we're looking at. We've got the two swords grasping swords, and then we got that rose happening in the middle. I'm sorry, it's a little shadowy. Like I said, it's pretty late at night. And I kind of like that the background has like a sun happening in it. Like that bright, happy, like things are going to be fine. I see it more as a sun than a star, but I mean, it could be a star. Like how they're talking about that, uh, following that guiding star. It could be a star, but I kind of see it more as a sun shape, if you ask me. But and then the magician. So the magus of power. The symbol of the winged mercurial crest appears on the top of the card. The snake-like creature that issues from beneath the crest are similar to those found on the Cadius, held by, I don't know if it's Caduceus or Cadius, however you want to say it, the radiating figure of Mercury to the left of the card. The magician is seen as a communicator with the gods and the storer of knowledge, which he willingly dispenses, similar to Mercury, who, in mythology, is the winged messenger of the gods. Thus, the magician, through his actions and expeditions of will, can bring unity between the divine intellect and the physical world. By intelligence, the idea of God is conceived, and by the willpower, works of good nature are accomplished. The altar at his feet contains the symbol of the four suits, swords, wands, cups, and the image of the pentagram on the book. There is also a burning candle in a triangular shape for earth. The picture of Mercury appears to radiate before him. Very cool. All right. We've seen this card before in the past. But we'll take a quick little look here. Yep, that is all what's happening on the card. All right, super cool. And then once again, like I said, we've already kind of gone over these. We have the Page of Sword in place, or the Princess of Swords in the Hermetic. We have the Ace of Swords happening. And then this is our last moment in time with the Knight of Swords, which is good. So that impulsive, quick to react, angry, I always see it as angry, energy will be leaving and will be dealing with something different. Man, this is so much sword energy happening over here. It's insane. Like so much mental energy happening. Yeah. All right. Well, that's the Decan. That's what's coming forward for us for the next couple days. I'm really hoping for my loved ones that went through it that this is going to be for them and moving on to smoother and calmer waters and finding a resolution to what took place. Okay, so this is in place from January 31st to February 9th. And so our next video will be February 10th. and that will be looking at the Seven of Swords. But for right now, we are in the Six of Swords energy. So enjoy that. And if there's anything crazy or chaotic going on in your life, know that this is the deck and that'll probably lead you to calmer waters, which is excellent. I think we all kind of need that right now. But anyways, thanks for watching. Hopefully this doesn't end up being late, but I have a feeling it will. And I will see you guys on the next one. I hope this Decan is good for you.